mean, it's one of the ecosystems that is developing almost simultaneously, where different whiskey makers are sort of promoting each other to say Indian whiskey is worth looking at. So I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. If you can recommend, barring Paul John, what Indian whiskey do you recommend to people, who ask you for a taste of Indian whiskey?
Well, I personally, I think Amrut is making some excellent quality single malts. I also believe that there is a company called GianChand from Jammu. I think he's making some very good stuff, and I think there's a lot of good stuff that's coming out, in the near future also.
Right. If we open this up to international whiskies as well, I mean, Diwali is coming up. If someone were to ask you what spirits they should be buying this year ahead of Diwali and the different parties that they're going to be throwing, what would your recommendations be? You can include a couple of Paul Johns in that.
Whiskies, of course, I mean, I would highly recommend, going in if they are single malt fans. See, the problem in India, I personally believe, is that we still have to educate the consumer to be able to drink single malt the way it should be had. Basically either preferably with no water added, but at best, if they find it, extremely pungent, probably a teaspoon for every peg. So having said that, I am a non-peat fan. So, I mean, I would definitely, if they are, starting off, then probably a billion should be good. But if they're a little more into single malts, then I would highly recommend one of our, cask finishes, the PX or the Oloroso. And then, of course, if they have budget is not an issue, then I think, Mithuna is something that I would highly recommend. But again, if they are peat fans, we have something called Bold, which I think is very good, which, they will like. That's something that they can buy. Then, of course, the other brands are there. They will definitely, multiple options are there. They can pick up from any of those brands.
Yeah, internationally, are there any whiskies that you sort of think are interesting to look at right now?
Definitely. I mean, there are some fantastic whiskies that are coming out from really, unknown parts of the world. For example, there's a brand called Kavalan that is coming out from. I'm a big fan of that brand. They make fantastic stuff. Then, of course, the Japanese single malts are very good. But unfortunately, there's a lot of blended whiskeys that are coming out from Japan. They don't, they don't, they're not very clear on their labeling. So a lot of people are getting fooled by blended whiskeys, thinking it's a single malt. But if you can get your hands on to some single malts from Japan, like Yamazaki, they make fantastic single malts. And I would have, but it's very very expensive. I mean, I would the the value for it, I think, is a little too much because the availability of the product is less, and as a result, the prices of it has gone up very high, and and even availability also is not that easy to come by. But otherwise, I think I would highly recommend this brand, the other brand that I said, Kavalan. They make some excellent stuff.